Hello, I'm Diane Van Gooley, coordinator at the Muroc Family Education Center on Aging, and I would like to welcome you to our Baxter Regional Healthy Connections, and I'm here with the other house coordinators, and we're going to take a quick break, then we'll be right back. Hello, I'm Diane Van Gulik, and I am welcoming you back to our BRMC Healthy Connections here with the rest of our health coordinators. We've got Jody Bodenhammer from the Rappel Diabetes Learning Center, Melissa Hudson from the Heights Cancer Support House, and Stephanie Isom.
Yes.
Isom, you got it right this time. You're so much better than me. I practice all the time.
I know.
And she's from Schliemann, the Women's Center. And we're here today to talk to you a little bit about what we've got going on the
Upcoming
month of
events,
June.
yeah.
So let's start with Miss Jody Bodenhammer. What do you got going on?
I have had a really busy month for June. Jan and I are running around and doing some traveling classes. As we've talked about before, we've been most recently into West Plains and taking our little diabetes show on the road. And then she and I will be going over to Salem next week for a kids camp, talking about healthy eating. So we don't always just talk about diabetes. We don't always just educate about diabetes. And we do like to get out and encourage young people and even our kids about how to snack, how to eat, how to take care of their body. You know, you and I went to the Hackler event a few weeks ago over at the intermediate school here in Mountain Home and talked to the girls about keeping their bodies healthy for the summer. So we do a lot of different things, and we try to get out there as much as we can. And just to let you know, if you have a group or an event coming up and you need a speaker, I know the four of us, as well as Jan Halligan, my dietitian, we are more than happy to come and to talk to groups, church groups, camps. You know, like I said, we're going to a kids camp. Just any type of an area where you could see a need or a benefit, please let us know, because we are more than happy to travel and to do things together like that for our community. Another thing that we have coming up and that we've started was a Cooking Matters class, and I just am just thrilled. I think it's going really well. Hopefully we'll be able to have more of those in the future, and Diane and I at the Muroc and the Rappel co-sponsored that class with the North Central Arkansas Food Bank. So that's going to be a really exciting partnership for us moving forward, I think, as well. And then we have our ongoing diabetes classes at the Rappel Center. So, yeah, we're just kind of trying to stay busy and keep it going. Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes you talk about how a lot of people don't come to the Pites house or to the Rappel house until they actually have a diagnosis of cancer or diabetes. But prevention's really important, and you guys reach out and talk about prevention as well. So bringing the kitchen to your group is one way to do that, isn't it?
That's true. And we do teach usually about once a month, and it varies from month to month depending on our class, but we do teach with our dietitian, Jan Halligan, a diabetes prevention class, and we call that DRR, diabetes risk reduction. In other words, if you are on the verge or your doctor has said, you know, you need to watch this, what can you do about that, and how can we help you maybe avoid that diagnosis? One of the other things that comes to mind, and that I know we've all, you know, worked on this from time to time as well, but just our support groups. So if you do have a need or you do see something and you have a group of folks, we are open to suggestions for new types of support groups in all of our houses, so please let us know.
And I like to call them group gatherings.
Group gatherings, I like
that.
Yes.
Stigma.
Some kind of a stigma there. Yeah.
I mean, you learn so much from each other,
Yes.
and that's what it's about, is learning from each other,
Sure.
supporting each other. You just don't know about some things unless you go
through it.
And,
That's correct.
It's very important.
Right.
It's
Well,
so
and I
correct.
also think validation is key. You know,
And support between each other, yeah.
Yes, you know, so I have this Mommy Me support group, and I always go back to that because it's a group that I'm familiar with. I'm part of that group, and it's about validation. You're not crazy. It's perfectly normal.
It's
You know,
okay,
it's a chemical issue.
Right.
But to know that you're not the only one,
Right.
sometimes
Right.
that
Right.
in itself is just enough to make you feel
And you know,
not crazy.
I see that a lot with my kids' support group because if you think about the Mountain Home School District, for example, 300 plus kids in a class, maybe a handful, maybe half a dozen of those kids have type 1 diabetes. It's very low, prevalence of the diabetes population. And type 1 diabetes is very different than type 2 diabetes. And so there's a lot of negative connotations out there. There's a lot of kids that say, kind of mean and hurtful things. And when we get together with a group of kids that all have type 1 diabetes, it makes a big difference in how they feel, and how they manage their
Right.
disease. Do they feel comfortable yet to go onto an insulin pump? Are you still doing shots? What are you guys doing for this and that? And, how do you, as a parent, how do you take care of a child who wants to play sports and do multiple
Right.
things? So lots of good, and I can't say enough, and I know support groups don't.
Right. I know. And the other thing is personalized
But a gathering,
support.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they can come in and talk to either one of us and get personalized support. Whatever you're going through, cancer, diabetes, women things, and aging. I mean, you can come in and just have some personalized support, either from ourselves, or I have cancer survivors that are volunteers
That's
that are
right,
there.
yeah.
So we have that as well.
It's fun because
Great.
You don't have to go through any of this alone.
Yeah, it
Right,
is.
right.
It's such a devastation, I think, if you're having a health issue. And most of our volunteers are involved, very much so. All of my volunteers either have diabetes or have a loved one with diabetes. Yours are cancer survivors.
Mine are all ladies.
Yours are all ladies. That makes sense. And then, Diane, most of your volunteers are all seniors.
That's right.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
It makes a great
It
connection.
really
there.
does. Yeah. So, Melissa, what do you got going on?
Well, I have our local oncologist, Dr. Stephen Latanzi. He's going to visit
he's
us on
great.
Tuesday. He's wonderful, and it's just going to be kind of an open, what you need to know about cancer, Q&As. So if you or your loved ones want to attend that, please give us a call. It's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Treat it like a doctor's appointment. If you work, just, I got to go to a meeting, you have time with the oncologist. So
Write
that's
your
great.
questions down as you're thinking about the
Right.
coming. And
And don't be
everything.
afraid to ask those questions.
Right.
They're
Right.
there for that
For that
sole
reason.
purpose. So
Exactly.
hand them your pad of paper and say, here.
That's right. That's right.
That's
And
what I want to know.
with the questions, going along with that, when a person comes to the house who's diagnosed with cancer, we give them a list of questions that they can ask their physician. We give them this binder, and it has an overview of the cancer that they've been diagnosed with, questions to ask the doctor, treatment options, tips on eating, what not to eat, what to eat, financial resources. It's very, very good. They love it. It helps them ease their mind so much. We also give them a care package. And
Look at you. You brought all this
stuff under the table there.
ready to know what we have. What's going on? I got tons of props today.
Look at this. I'm gonna pull this.
Yeah.
It's under here.
So we have this care package. It has hand sanitizer, lotion, bottled water, chapstick, lemon drops, a pad of paper, pen, everything that just to help you through your treatments, information about us. And then our ladies that meet are Threads of Hope every Wednesday.
So pretty.
They call them hugs.
They're soft too.
They
to
are
keep you
soft.
warm. You get so cold during treatments, and this is something they make little bags as well to put them in to carry to your treatments. And all of this is given to you free of charge. I mean, we just and how
And
do
this
we
is
do
all
provide all of
volunteer.
this free of
Yeah.
charge by our fundraisers. So
Yep.
we have one of those coming up, and you can sponsor and get free tickets and advertising for your company. It's our Pink for Pikes rodeo.
I was gonna say that's gonna be the rodeo.
That's coming
Yeah.
up. Wow.
I cannot believe it's almost time for a rodeo again.
Yeah. Yay. That's
Very
it's always
good.
fun. So, where can they reach you?
We're directly across the street from the emergency room entrance, so please come in and just get a tour of our house, any of our houses. We love it. And you can call me at 870-508-2273.
All right. And Jody, phone number.
Oh, I didn't give my. I'm always asking you guys to give your phone numbers. My phone number at the Repel Diabetes Learning Center is 508-1765. And again, we are available. Most of us are at our houses and are available for questions. If not, our volunteers are there that are able to help. And that's Monday through Friday. We're open every day from 9 to 4 every day.
That's great.
I did. I gave it.
Oh,
508-1765.
see, I zoned
Never
out.
heard. So that's why it's always good to just repeat it, right? Yeah. There you go.
We did it.
All right. Well, I think we need to take a quick break.
Yep, we sure do.
I got the signal, and we'll be right back. And I want to know what's going on with you girls.
All right. Hello, welcome back to Baxter Regional's Healthy Connections, and we are the 4 house coordinators over at Baxter Regional. And before we went to break, we talked to Jody Bodenhammer. She's our diabetes educator at the Repel Diabetes Learning Center. And we were talking to Melissa Hudson from the Pites Cancer Support House. And now we're going to talk to Stephanie from the Woman's House. Tell us what you got going on.
So let's see here. On the 14th of June from 11 to 12, Miss Jody is going to come over to the Schliemann Center and lead a discussion on supporting someone with diabetes. So since she's here, do you mind to give us a little
Do you want a
inside
preview?
look?
Ooh,
Yeah, teaser.
yes.
Yes.
So we came up with this idea several years ago because in the regulations that I have for diabetes classes, you have to have the diagnosis of diabetes in order to come to the class. Of course, you can certainly come with your loved one as well. But I had a lot of, especially ladies and females, who said, you know, I don't know that I could get my husband to come to a class, but I want to know more.
As most women do.
Or I don't know that my husband is really needing the whole spiel, but I want to know how to cook a little bit better or be a little bit more supportive. And so there came the brainchild. And like I said, it definitely comes from our patients.
Sure.
You know, whatever the need comes, then we try to match that need. And that's what this is about. It's obviously for women only because we're having it at the Schliemann Center.
Yes.
But this is supporting someone, and that someone may not be a spouse, that someone may be a parent, that someone may be a sibling, that someone may just be a friend that you watch after or that you are helping with. Maybe you've got a group of lady friends that gets
Right.
together, and how can you be more supportive and
Right,
helpful?
because support comes in many different forms.
It does.
I think all of us at this table, we're all women and we're all mothers, and we all know that we don't always take care of ourselves. We take care of everyone else, and then when you have time and laundry's done and dishes are washed and everyone's in bed, you have time for yourself, and that's unfortunate sometimes. So take a little bit of time for yourself, you know, see what these houses are about, see what the Schliemann Center is about. We focus on women, because women don't focus on themselves enough. So we do that for you. We make it as easy as possible. So that's 11 to 12 on June 14th over at the Schliemann Center. Give me a call and make your reservation. It's a 508-2345.
And I am going to be bringing some snacks.
Oh, see,
Yay.
so all the more reason to come. And then we have a couple of different support groups at the Schliemann Center, or as Melissa calls them, support gatherings. So I'm gonna have to-
Gatherings,
Group
yes.
gatherings.
Group gatherings.
Okay, so I'm going to have to start learning to say that because I do like it much better. But you know, we have a fibromyalgia support group. We have a beauty balance class that focuses on not falling. So we do a lot of exercises where we focus on core strength. We've got a Mommy and Me support group, and we have a book club. So our book club is led by Miss Mary Margaret Pearson, longtime volunteer at the hospital and at the Schliemann Center. And believe it or not, that group is growing, and they read wonderful books, and they have great discussions. And women get opinionated, and it's just a very nice book club to join because. One, she brings snacks, and two, you know, they all have an opinion about a book that they read, and it's about different perspective.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, everybody loves the book club, and
Everyone loves
what
the book
I
club.
like about that particular mindset, especially for ladies, and I know Mary Margaret would say the same, is, you know, you got to keep your brain active.
active,
And
yes.
reading something good and positive is probably more beneficial than we realize for our
Yes.
mental health and for our memory and
Yeah, and she
other
would
things.
say that,
Yeah.
and you're right. And Miss Mary Margaret, she's a reader. She
is.
is, you know, a member of several book clubs. but she's a good facilitator as well. So, we have breastfeeding classes and child birth classes, lactation support. So anything female related, we're the place to go. So that's what I've got.
Great.
Yeah.
You have a lot going on.
I do. Well, we all do, I think.
I
do,
think so,
yes.
yeah.
We try to
We
offer as many
stay
things
busy.
as
Yeah.
possible.
So what about
yes.
you? What's
So-
happening?
Yeah, so June the 19th at 1 o'clock, we have Sarah Cochran. She's a pharmacist over at the
Oh,
hospital.
yes.
It's going to come over and talk about common medication and supplement interactions. And I hear a lot of questions, especially about supplements. And,
Yes.
should I be taking the supplement if I'm taking this blood pressure medication? Or, when's it going to affect the absorption or
Yes.
things like that. So she's going to come over and talk about some of those things.
Well, and there are so many misconceptions now about, I read this one thing, and this is where I get confused, and I'm sure most people do. One study of a small group of people does not therein fact mean it's going to affect us all that way. And yesterday I had a question about a diabetes medicine and grapefruit juice, because there was
yeah.
this study done in 2009. Well, good Lord, that's been, almost
Right.
10 years ago now. And it affected a small amount of people that said, if we drank gallons and gallons of grapefruit juice, then it might harm us.
Yeah.
Most people are not going to be drinking gallons of grapefruit juice,
Probably
So
not.
it is a good thing. Yeah, I hope not. I hope you're not drinking that much. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to know. And medicine is a scary business these
Yep.
days. I
Sure
cannot say
is.
enough good things about pharmacy.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Sarah especially.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah spoke at our the Schliemann Center back in February, had a heart health forum, and
Mm-hmm.
she sat on the panel for that. And she knows her stuff.
She
She's
does.
super smart.
She
She's-
loves educating.
and she does. And she's young and she's energetic, and this is going to be a great class.
Yeah,
to
she
attend.
keeps up. She keeps up with the latest.
And I think sometimes too we don't always not give our pharmacists enough credit, but we don't always think about pharmacists as part of our healthcare team. They really are growing and changing every day with our healthcare environment, because now we look to our pharmacists to maybe give us some of our vaccinations. We look to our pharmacists to help us, with minor illnesses, because let's be honest, we can't always get in to see our physicians just at the drop of a hat. And so they really are a great piece of our healthcare team that are probably underutilized, maybe would be a word I would use. So I'm always encouraging my diabetes patients and all of you out there to get in touch with your pharmacist, get a good pharmacist, someone you can talk with. And if you don't have one, call us and we'll help you find one, because
Right.
our hospital pharmacists unfortunately aren't available in the public, but when they're speaking at these forums, that's a great way to get some ideas.
That's right. That's right. So, and I just want to put a plug in there for my for our Alzheimer's dementia caregiver support group.
Oh, yeah.
It's the fourth Thursday of each month at 2 o'clock, and our next one we're going to be talking about the different behavior related to dementia. What happens? There's a lot of unexpected behavior in a lot of these
Right.
situations, and we were talking about support groups a little while ago, and it's amazing. There's about 20 people that attend this support group, and they all have different strategies, tips that they can share with each other.
That's awesome.
And I'm just there facilitating. Sometimes I'll bring in a guest speaker, but these caregivers take really good care of each other in this group, offering tips. And
That's really good.
sometimes what worked for you won't work for me, but it's just a great resource
Right.
to get ideas, because it's such a difficult disease to manage. So, and we also have a new program called Dementia Friendly Community.
I was going to ask you how that was going.
Yeah, so we've had some different businesses in
Oh,
the
good.
area that are participating, signing up for it.
And what does that mean?
So-
Dementia friendly.
Yeah, so good question. What I have noticed, I've been in this job for almost 3 years now, and what I have noticed over and over again from our caregivers is the isolation. They don't go out in public anymore. Not just the one with the dementia, but the caregiver too.
sure,
They
they
feel
can't
so
leave.
tied. Yeah. So we want to encourage our caregivers and the person diagnosed with dementia to live, to continue to live
To try
life
to
in
get
our
out.
community. Because isolation's like one of the worst things, withdrawing from the community is one of the worst things that we can do for ourselves. It leads to depression, which can cause medical conditions.
Right.
And you need to be out there in the community. So what we're doing is we're going around to the different businesses and just raising awareness about what dementia is, what
Sure.
to look for. We do have some folks in our community that live here alone without any of their family, and they have dementia,
Yeah.
and none of their family knows it.
Right.
rough.
And so these businesses know what to look for and how to get in touch with someone to help that person that they might be concerned about living alone.
I think that is fantastic,
So we're
phenomenal.
just giving them some
Yes.
phone numbers to call to help with that, but
Good.
also, we're giving them window clings. So you can look for the dementia-friendly window clings. Like if you go to Amstaff Bank, you're going to see it right there, and they also have a plaque that says that they completed the training. And you can know that when you go in there with your loved one, and we're giving our caregivers these purple bracelets. So the employees at these businesses know to look for this. And when they see that, they know, just automatically know the person that is with that caregiver has dementia. And so they can kind of shift gears into that dementia awareness mode.
Sure.
And
Dementia looks like a lot of different things.
definitely. And there's so many different types of dementia too.
Right.
But they will know to narrow down the options. Like instead of saying, here's our menu with 20 different things on it, they say, we have a special today.
Right.
Here's our special. Would you like to try that?
Yeah.
And
That makes it easier too on the caregiver, I'm sure.
yeah. And it's amazing what a little bit of understanding about what these folks are going through, how it changes our level of patience
Yes, it
with
does.
them.
And I'm sure that it makes a difference to the caregiver feeling comfortable going to that business
Yes,
too. So, yeah.
definitely. And if in a restaurant, they will pick up on the fact that the person with them has dementia, so they might sit them in a different area of the restaurant where it's a little quieter.
Sure.
Sure. That's a great
And there
idea.
may be one of the servers there that know a little more about dementia. That will be
Be
their server.
comfortable,
Yeah,
right,
that's
exactly.
comfortable with it. So,
Well,
yeah.
I think we got the goodbye message a while ago, so we need to sign off
Wrap up.
today. What is a good contact number for you, Diane?
Yeah, 508-3880.
So I think if you are a business or even a person dealing with a caregiver of a dementia patient or someone with a family member, that is a very important step to take. We're working toward a dementia-friendly community,
Yep.
so that's awesome. All right, well, shall we say our goodbyes?
Let's say our
Yes,
goodbyes.
we'll see you next time.